Good morning. Welcome to my fireplace. And I am back home in Chelsea, Oklahoma. I'm so far away from the camera though that I can't see comments today. I'll have to check those afterwards and hope that everything is set up good where you can see and hear. It's so good to be home. It was a great trip. I had a great trip in Texas except for my emergency room and overnight hospital stay. That was not quite so much fun. But I am so thankful to be doing so much better, and thank you for all your prayers, your texts, your calls, checking on me. I will definitely have more compassion on people now who have vertigo. I had never experienced vertigo before and thought, oh, vertigo, you're just kind of off balance. Well, I have learned that vertigo offsets everything in your system, it seems like. And I'm much better. And I told him Sunday morning on my way to the pulpit, I said, I am not drunk as you suppose. Not drunk. But I walked like I was. And I thought, man, if I get pulled over and have to take a sobriety test, they'll take me to jail because I couldn't walk a straight line, and I still can't walk a straight line. But God is helping me, and He helped me drive all the way home from Texas and safely, and I'm just thankful to be here, thankful to be home for a couple of weeks. And God is good. God is so faithful. I want to share a word with you. Last night we had a visiting preacher at church, and he announced his text. And when he did, he said, I've got one word I want to preach on. And so when he began reading his text, my mind and thoughts zeroed in on this one word. Well, that wasn't the word that he was going for at all. He went on to the next verse and used a word out of another verse. But I got hung up on one word. And it's in Matthew chapter 4, verse 18. And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And he preached on the word follow. But the first word that I saw when he began to read his text was, and Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren. And that word saw just jumped out at me. And I thought about it all night. I woke up during the night a couple of times thinking about the word saw. He saw. And so there is no definition for the word saw. I thought, sure, if I pulled up the word saw, the only definition I could find for the word saw was definitions about a physical hand saw or electrical saw, something to cut with. There was no definition listed for saw as in the past tense of the word see. And the reason for that is because you can't have the word saw if you haven't first seen something. That quite an eye-opener. Pretty elementary. But it's because saw on its own has no real definition. Saw is dependent on the fact that you have seen something. And so when Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, it indicates to me that he had seen them. In John chapter 1 and verse 47, Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. He saw Nathanael coming. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Jesus answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. What Jesus was saying was, I see you. I see you. And therefore I saw you. So many times we acknowledge the fact that, yes, God sees everything I do. People acknowledge, yes, you can say, do you believe God sees you right now? Yes, I believe he sees me right now. Well, if he sees me right now, that means he saw me in the past. See and saw operate together. I see you right now. But in just a few minutes, when you walk away, I saw you. It was something in the past. And Jesus told Nathanael, I saw you. And I think that's something that is thought-worthy this morning for us to realize that God not only sees us, but he saw us. He knew us and he saw us in our mother's womb. And he continues to see us today. He sees what you're going through. He sees the trial that you're walking. He sees the valley that you're going through. And when you look back, he can say, I saw you. I saw you. I knew right where you were all the time. I just happened to think about the poem of the footprints. And the man that wrote the poem talked about all, through his life, he saw 2 sets of footprints. He saw them. Because they were in his past. But there came to a place in his life, the hardest trials and the hardest time in his life, he only saw 1 set of footprints. And he assumed that God had left him, that God had forsaken him, and that he was all alone. But the Lord reminded him, no. When you only saw 1 set of footprints, they were mine. I was carrying you. And it's important for you and I this morning to understand and realize that God saw you when you were under the fig tree. God saw you when you thought no one could see you. I was thinking of Achan. Achan had stolen Babylonian garments and some coins and stuff after God had commanded Joshua that they take nothing of the spoils. But Achan did. And when God called for Achan and let Joshua know there's sin in the camp, and Joshua began to look for Achan, he found him hid among the stuff. I believe that's the one I want to. I may have my people mixed up here. Let's just look it up and see. Let's look it up. Now that I'm saying it, I'm questioning myself. Actually, it was Saul. After I said Achan, it does say that Achan hid his stuff among the stuff. But Saul was taken, and when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore inquired of the Lord further, if the man should yet come thither. And the Lord answered, Behold, he hath hid himself among the stuff. You see, that was because God saw him. You can't hide from God. The Bible says that Saul was taller, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. He tried to hide, but he couldn't. He tried to hide himself among the stuff. That God saw him. You can't hide from God. God will see you. And then he'll tell you where he saw you. An old game that we played as children was hide and go seek. And the game was to hide, and when someone came looking for you to run and touch base before they found you. And occasionally, it was hoped that if you were the seeker, you would see them before they got back to the base and go touch base and say, I saw you. You had to see them before you could say, I saw you. That's just what I'm trying to get to. You have to see before you can say, I saw. And because God sees you and I this morning, we can be confident that he saw us yesterday. Because I know, Job said, I know, he knows the way that I take. He knows the path that I'm going. He knows, God knows what, when I start out on a trip, even if I'm just starting home from Texas, I always put it in my GPS because the roads are just crazy. It takes me every which way. And I don't always know the road that I'm taking. I have to follow the GPS. But God knows the road that I'm taking. He sees where I am, and he saw where I was. I'm so glad that when I was sinking deep in sin, he saw me and he pulled me out. I'm so glad that when the valley was so dry, he saw me and he gave me a drink. I'm so glad that when the grief seemed so overwhelming that I couldn't cope with it, he saw me and said, there's a balm in Gilead for your healing. Just rambling thoughts this morning that I wanted to share with you about seeing Saul. Simple elementary grammar lesson. You can't say that you saw something if you didn't see it first. And I just want to remind you today that God sees you and he saw you. Maybe you can pull something more out of that that'll be applicable to your life. If you can just realize that when you think no one sees you, God saw you. That's what Nathanael said. Where did you see me? How did you see me? And Jesus said, I saw you when you were under the fig tree. I saw thee. God sees you today. Be encouraged, my friend. You're not alone. You're never alone. But he's there and he sees you. And he saw he saw where you were before you got to today. That's why so often I tell people, this did not take God by surprise. He already saw it. And he's prepared. Even when I'm not, he's prepared. Those are my simple thoughts for this morning. this Thursday morning in Oklahoma, and a little chilly, and I'm enjoying my little fake fireplace here, and God is good. God is faithful. So, check back Tuesday. See where I am then. I plan on being here. But you just never know where I'm going to appear at. God bless you. Have a great day. And remember, He saw you. He saw you.